Hello and welcome to our discussion today. I am Dr. Madanki from CARE IVF, Kolkata. And today I am going to be discussing a very important aspect of infertility treatment, that is male infertility. Before we go on to discussing about male infertility in detail, it is important to once again define what is infertility. Infertility is defined as the inability of a couple, a non-contracepting couple, a sexually active couple, to achieve spontaneous pregnancy in 1 year, and this is the definition as per the World Health Organization. Nearly 1 in 7 couples is infertile, which means that they have been unable to conceive a child even though they have had frequent unprotected intercourse for a year or longer. In up to half of these couples, male infertility plays at least a partial role. 1 in 8 couples encounter problems when attempting to conceive a first child, and 1 in 6 when attempting to conceive a subsequent child. Infertility, we all know, can affect both men and women. In 50% of involuntarily childless couples, a male infertility associated factor is found together with abnormal semen parameters. A fertile female partner may compensate for the fertility problem of man, and thus infertility usually manifests if both partners have reduced fertility. Now, male fertility can be reduced due to various factors, which may be congenital or acquired abnormalities, may be due to malignancies, urogenital tract infections, local increased temperature of the scrotum, which could be due to, for example, varicocele, endocrine disturbances, genetic abnormalities, and immunological factors as well. In 30 to 40% of cases, no male infertility associated factor is found, which is then known as idiopathic. However, even in idiopathic male infertility, there may be some degree of semen abnormalities, and the spermiogram reveals the same. Idiopathic male infertility is assumed to be caused by several factors, including endocrine disruption as a result of environmental pollution, reactive oxygen species, or genetic and epigenetic abnormalities. So what would then be the symptoms of infertility? The main sign of infertility is obviously, of course, inability to conceive a child. There may be no other obvious signs or symptoms. In some cases, however, an underlying problem such as an inherited disorder, hormonal imbalance, dilated veins around the testicle, or a condition that blocks the passage of sperm can cause signs and symptoms. Signs and symptoms which you may notice include problems with sexual function, difficulty with ejaculation or small volumes of ejaculate, reduced sexual desire, or difficulty in maintaining an erection. There may be pain or swelling or a lump in the testicle area, recurrent respiratory infections such as in cystic fibrosis, inability to smell, abnormal breast growth, which is also known as gynecomastia, decreased facial or body hair, or other signs of a chromosomal or hormonal abnormality. And of course, the main sign would be then a lower than normal sperm count, which is fewer than 15 million sperms per milliliter of semen, or a total sperm count of less than 39 million per ejaculate. So what are the types of infertility then? It could be known causes or idiopathic causes, and gonadic chromosomal abnormalities. Known causes could be maldescended testis, varicocele, sperm autoantibodies, testicular tumor, and others. Idiopathic causes: hypogonadism can include a variety of syndromes, mainly say Klinefelter syndrome, where we have one additional X chromosome, 47XXY, an XX male, primary hypogonadism of unknown origin, secondary hypogonadotrophic hypogonadism, Kallmann syndrome, idiopathic hypogonadotrophic hypogonadism. It may also be residual post a pituitary surgery and others such as late onset hypogonadism and constitutional delay of puberty. General or systemic disease which may lead to partial or complete infertility, male infertility, could be due to diabetes. Cryopreservation due to malignant disease may also lead to infertility. Testicular tumors, lymphoma, sarcoma, leukemia. Now, disturbance of erection or ejaculation may be due to obstruction, vasectomy, cystic fibrosis and others. So, having said all this, what is the prognosis? What are the prognostic factors? The prognostic factors for male infertility are the duration, how long has this been present, whether it is primary or secondary to other causes, what is the result of the semen analysis, and the age and the fertility status of the female partner. The cumulative pregnancy rate is about 27% in infertile couples with 2 years of follow-up, and oligospermia as the primary cause of infertility. Female age is the most important single variable influencing outcome in assisted reproduction. Compared to a woman of 25 years, the fertility potential of a woman aged 35 years is reduced to 50% and to 25% at 38 years and to just over 5% at over 40 years. So there is definitely a very sharp decline in fertility in women over the age of 35. In many Western countries, and more so also in our country as well, women are tending to postpone their first pregnancy until after completion of their education and the starting of their career. Now, any discussion on male infertility cannot be complete without even briefly talking about a normal semen analysis. A medical history and physical examination of the male partner are standard assessments in all men, including a semen analysis. Important treatment decisions are based on the results of the semen analysis. Therefore, it is essential that the complete laboratory workup is standardized. The ejaculate analysis has been standardized by the World Health Organization and disseminated by publication of the WHO Laboratory Manual for the Examination and Processing of Human Semen. And it is the consensus that modern spermatology must follow these guidelines. Semen volume should be at least 1.5 ml. The total semen number should be at least 39 million per ejaculate. Total motility, that is the progressive and the non-progressive motility together, should be 40. Progressive motility should be at least 32%, and vitality, that is number of live sperms, should be at least 58%. And most importantly, sperm morphology, that is normal forms of sperms, should be at least 4. The frequency of semen analysis. So how frequently should we test semen analysis? If the results of semen analysis are within the normal range as per the WHO laboratory manual, then one test is sufficient. But if the results are abnormal, in at least 2 tests, further andrological investigation is indicated. There are 3 main types of abnormalities that can be seen in a semen analysis, and it is important to differentiate between them. Oligospermia, where the spermatozoa are less than 15 million per ml. Asthenozoospermia, where the progressive motility is less than 32%, and teratozoospermia, where the normal forms are less than 4%. Often, all these 3 anomalies can occur together simultaneously, which is then defined as oligoasthenoteratozoospermia, also known as OAT syndrome. As in azoospermia, in extreme cases of oligospermia, the spermatozoa of being less than 1 million, there is an increased incidence of obstruction of the male genital tract and genetic abnormalities. I come to a conclusion of my brief talk on types of male infertility. This is just the beginning of a series on discussions and videos on this particular topic. Please stay tuned. My colleague, Dr. Dorothy Ghosh, will be talking in more detail about semen analysis and further discussions on how to deal with these problems in her subsequent videos. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Have a good day.